It's time for Everything Noob, your source for all things gaming.
The 94th installment of Everything Noob begins now. Thank you for joining us. I am Vortak, streamer of video games and maker of sushi.
I'm Jamie. I have many books, none of which are leather bound, nor does my apartment smell of rich mahogany.
And I'm Dreadlow, and I've got a hopeless video channel, YouTube channel, that I plan on doing a video here shortly. So it's been, probably almost a year?
Nice.
But I'm going to come out with another video, and it's going to be about Planet Explorers. So look for it at Dreadlow Gaming on YouTube.
You should get subscribers first and then make videos.
Yeah.
I hear that's a good strategy.
I think so, because otherwise I'll be doing it for myself.
Exactly.
Everyone always, the new channels, like people who don't understand YouTube will go, hey, can you help promote my channel? I'm going to start making videos soon. It's like,
No.
no.
Videos, so I know what I'm promoting.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So to the theme of this episode, we have a theme every week, and the theme this week is clones and gaming. Gaming clones in general. If you don't know what that means, basically, games get cloned all the time, and it can lead to fantastic things or lawsuits. And we're going to talk about both sides of the issue this evening. And I think we'll kick it off with the one that relates to us the most. The game that comes up most on our podcast, in fact. I think the most cloned game I've dealt with in recent memory is Minecraft.
Yes.
I've seen, there's other ones that come to mind instantly, but the one I play the most, that I see cloned the most, is Minecraft.
With the most current is Createverse, right? Creativerse?
Facebook games.
Phone games, I think it cloned more than Minecraft, but I'm just talking about, games that I play
Real
all the
games?
time. Yeah, real games.
Okay.
That's going to
I
piss
just
some
want to
people
clear
off.
that up. Real games.
No, we'll get into that. I just wanted to bring up, because, the one I'm seeing the most of right now is Creativerse.
Yes.
And, Jemmy, have you seen this game?
No, I've pretty much tuned out all my Minecraft clones now. Like, I just
They
totally just
even have
right
a mob
over.
that explodes. They even have a mob that explodes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called The Stalker. No, I'm kidding.
No.
We don't know what it's called. I don't think it's got a name yet.
No,
but yeah.
It's the game itself does one thing unique that Minecraft doesn't, and in that instead of a pickaxe, you have a glove that mines the blocks for you.
And you can upgrade
You
it.
punch them.
You instead of punching them, you just suck all the blocks up into your inventory. And the graphics are pretty good in the sense that once you start doing that, there's a lot of animation, like the block starts to shake and then it gets sucked in. And
Is this the one with the real-ish person in proportions, but in a square world?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Kinda
I
like
remember
that.
you guys talking about this before.
And the
in another
mobs look all
conversation.
kind of like a cartoonish, realistic looking in a block world. It doesn't really fit.
It's basically, though, if you look at it at first glance, you look like, or it looks like you're looking at a Minecraft texture pack.
Yeah, a really decent one, actually.
Yeah, no, it looks decent, and the game itself does things. This is what bothered me about the game, and I'm not trying to bash it because I'm sure the developers are working their asses off. It's not like they just put it out there and waited. They're trying to fund it. It's getting funding. People are playing it, but overall, it is a Minecraft clone, and personally, I'm just kind of sick of seeing those. But they try to do things that Minecraft didn't do. Like right off the bat, there's furniture that you can craft. And there's slanted roofs. And just little things that Minecraft has neglected to put in their game.
But the thing is, here's the thing. There are mods that do some of these extra things that Creativerse has. So, like I said, what would be the difference if you took Minecraft, made the texture pack look similar to it, right? And then get those mods that add those extra things like furniture and things like that. It's basically the same thing.
There's tons of that for Minecraft already. I'd rather just play Minecraft.
I'd rather see a creeper that's blocky than I would to see whatever that stalker thing is that blows up.
That's
Do you
gonna
actually
catch on.
see the creepers before they blow up?
Yeah, you get close to them and they explode. It's the same.
Oh, if they're in front of you.
Yeah.
They're always
It's
behind
just-
me.
Oh. you're talking about Minecraft creepers.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It took me a while to see a creeper. Like when I first played Minecraft. That was a thing. I'm like, I got blown up, and I'm like, what was that? My friend's like, that was a creeper, man. They suck. I'm like, yeah, they do. What does it look like?
Yeah,
it took forever for me to see one.
How would you describe that to someone who doesn't know what it looks like?
He's a green penis that blows up.
They have to actually experience it.
Wow,
Seriously.
you went straight for it. I thought maybe you'd like work around it. No, you went straight to it.
Creepers have no
Well,
class.
we know the true story behind it, right? It was a pig. It was supposed to be a pig, and Notch messed up on the coding, and it looked like that. And so he liked it and decided to make it a creature.
That works.
How did you screw it up to where it looked like that?
It's iconic, that's for sure.
Yeah. If you know anything about the coding, especially like, when I was fooling around trying to make mods and stuff for Minecraft, you can actually set like how a block looks in code. So you got the texture there, and then you make the block via code. And so what he probably did was he messed up with a ×2 or he did a divided by or something in a spot where he isn't supposed to, and it ended up looking like the creeper. And so he says, I'm going to texture that green. Yeah, so.
Yeah,
It
he
works.
probably did he meant to do the long ways instead of like vertical like that and flip the numbers.
Well, I think
Flip it.
originally when you killed them, they blew up.
Oh.
Yeah, and so then he changed
Oh.
that. Yeah,
Yeah. No, it's cool.
it's weird anyway. I don't
Yeah.
know. Mach is just,
I think my main thing about Minecraft being cloned is if Minecraft didn't support the modding community as they do, then it would be absolutely necessary to clone it, I think. 'Cause
Oh yeah,
we would
definitely want furniture in the game. You know, I mean,
we'd want
Sure.
to see all kinds of stuff. We'd think this is great, but you could do way more. But
Right.
because Minecraft has so many awesome mods and plugins, I mean, there's no sense in cloning it, especially when those things are free.
they're just trying to capitalize on the hype.
Yeah.
I think.
But the hype still the hype with Minecraft? It's a
Yeah.
great game. But do you really think you can ride on those coattails anymore? Like, people kind of get it now, you know?
Well, see, now,
maybe in
can
beta
we-
days.
Can we
think here's-
mod these games? Can we mod Fortress Craft? Can we mod Total Miner or any of those games? So there's a modding available for those? Creativerse?
know.
I wonder. You know?
Here's my thing on it. See, people are just like Minecraft's on its way out in their heads. So like people are gonna look for the next big thing that's similar to fill the gap. Just like with the WoW clones, the MMO clones. So they're
Sure,
trying to reskin it essentially and sell the same game and being the next big thing.
And we're seeing a generation of that. We're seeing some things develop. Like, for instance, I mean, I'm not comparing it with Minecraft, but it's got the building, it's got the crafting, it's got everything. There's Rust. There's Planet Explorers, which is still in alpha right now. That's the one I'm messing around with right now. That one, you can basically do everything you can do in Minecraft, and more. And, there's several games like that now that are being developed that are 7 Days to Die. That's a perfect example. 7 Days to Die is basically, Minecraft on steroids. It's but see, they're inspired by Minecraft. It's different than cloning Minecraft. And see, like, people always say that Notch copied this guy, Infiniminer. No, he was inspired by that and he created Minecraft. It's a big difference than cloning or copying, because Minecraft is nothing like Infiniminer.
Yeah.
Other than it's blocky.
Yeah. No,
So-
I think there's totally a genre now of sandbox crafting games. I think that's just
Sure,
its own
yeah.
genre, and we're going to see a lot of originality out of that genre. But as soon as you make a sandbox crafting game based in a voxel-based world, you have instantly lost my interest and probably my respect.
Yeah, it's just now I like some of the things that people are doing with that whole idea, the blocky world, the blocky characters. One of them is Trove. It's like a MMO that's based in a blocky world. That's kind of neat. We also
Cube World was before
Cube
that.
World,
And Cube
yeah,
World did a
that's
great job
awesome.
with voxels, and it's not all about crafting and mining.
No. And so, for people to take that inspiration from Minecraft and create something and develop something completely new or add to it in a way that Minecraft can't, even with mods, like the MMO, for instance, and all that stuff, that it's great, That's okay. That's inspiration. That's different.
Micro in chat said Terraria and its clones. And Terraria arguably is a clone of Minecraft, but they did something different. Like Dreadlow was just saying, like it was original in the sense that you have side-scrolling and you have boss fights and things like that. Terraria did something different.
Yeah, they
Right.
came in a different direction. Same, inspired by, but not a clone.
And they admit they were inspired by. That's something that they talk about.
Yeah, and it's sad that like people have to, if they don't establish that they're inspired by whatever game they're similar to, all of a sudden they get all this bad press. Like if Terraria didn't come out and say we were inspired by Minecraft, they would, get a lot of hate from that little portion of people who were like, you're copycats, But obviously that game is a hard comparison to Minecraft because all you really have is blocks and crafting. But it's the blocks don't even look completely square, and it's side-scrolling, and you know what I mean?
See, like
The crafting is a little different.
Crafting's different.
See, when Minecraft came out, Linden Labs came out, a little later, I think, with patterns. And so rather than completely copying Minecraft, what they did is they made patterns, and they're like little shapes, like round circles, triangles, things like that you can build with. And I don't know where it's gone in development now, but when I had it, when I messed around with it back in the alpha days, it was just a building game. There was no sense to it at that point. But they were planning on adding like, quests, missions, things like that with this. So, again, there's another game that's inspired by Minecraft and not just cloned. So these people just need to get originality.
I love what Minecraft's done for the indie community as a whole.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
it's opened the doors for a lot of people.
Minecraft's opened the floodgates for indie devs. Just no matter what game you're designing. And we've also seen a lot of similar crafting games come out that have been also very, very well done, like Rust, for example. But there's a lot of any game that has crafting and stuff. They really have to watch out and make sure they're not just ripping off Minecraft, like we're seeing with Creativerse.
You know what I've noticed since Minecraft was a huge thing is in really big popular AAA titles, there's usually now this sort of sandboxy element where it's decorate your room or create a space for your character.
Yes, you noticed that?
There's this customization of, to some degree, more in AAA titles now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People love it.
It's interesting because EverQuest 2 started this. I mean, I think even before Minecraft came out. I think EverQuest 2 goes back before then. But they had a housing in there, but it was in a completely different realm. That's why EverQuest Next is going to have something completely different, where you can actually build and create rather than just have a house that you can put
So it's
furniture
going to be like
in.
Star Wars Galaxies?
Yeah, and only premium members were able to access the that world, and basically you rent apartments or whatever. It was weird.
Building a house in the game isn't that original. I mean, that's not really what Minecraft is. RuneScape did the same thing with player-owned houses. You go to a town and there was a portal and you could make your house in there. But the extent of it was you just paid for rooms. A room would pop up, and then you can choose what type of room that would be, and then put furniture in specific spots for it. You couldn't just choose where the furniture went. There wasn't a lot of customization, but it was a sandbox element in its own right, where you got a giant empty plot of space and you got to put your house and make the square rooms whatever shape you wanted.
Yeah. But see, I mean, we're talking even RuneScape has been around way before Minecraft was even conceived. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it has crafting in it. It's got all those things. So, but
crafting isn't a new thing, and mining isn't a new thing, and voxels. I mean, voxels.
Those are definitely not new.
No, but we're seeing them used in a different sense now. And you combine all those things together, and you have Minecraft. And I think that was it. That's all we need, especially with Minecraft being modded. So that's I don't know. I consider that the bad side of game cloning, mostly the annoying side, because Mojang doesn't really seem to care. They know their game is worth its weight in gold, and you can't make a similar one today and expect the same success.
And that's just it. There are companies out there that are suing for this very same thing.
Yeah.
Something that Minecraft, if some of these lawsuits actually go through in the way that they're being presented, seriously, Mojang has some serious clout here when it comes to the courts on their side. Because I mean, we got games that are basically Minecraft. The only difference is they look different in some fashion or other.
Do you
And
think
so
they'd pursue
if they
it, though?
wanted to, yeah, I don't think so. Because
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Minecraft is so way over top. Although Creativerse, I don't know, they just might, especially since they've changed the EULA, and
Well, that
who
was
knows?
to address a whole different issue. I think Creativerse should be fine. You could they've made games that are literally Minecraft. There have been clones out there that are just Minecraft, and they call it something vaguely similar, and it's the same mechanics except done horribly, like a lazy Minecraft.
Yeah, and there are some out there that that we might not even know of that are just so small
Yeah.
that we don't even know about. But
I saw one on Greenlight getting all kinds of horrible feedback because people were like, "This is
Aw.
Minecraft, but it's done bad. Like you haven't put in any of the features that are in Minecraft. No one, even if you had all the features, no one would want your game."
yeah,
Beautiful thing about the Steam community is if a game is bad, they will come out and let everyone know it is really bad.
Yeah.
Now, from what I understand, is Fortress Miner or Fortress, what is it called? Fortress Craft?
Fortress Craft is a thing that was on Xbox
Fortress
before Minecraft
Before
was on
Minecraft
Xbox.
came out, and that was their attempt to make something similar to Minecraft for the Xbox, because there wasn't any talk of it being on Xbox for a long
I
time.
got that game.
Yeah, and
is
so that
on
was
my
their
Xbox
idea.
account.
We can't, I mean, it is, yes, it's a clone of Minecraft, but it's a clone of Minecraft on a platform that Minecraft didn't exist on. So
They admitted it.
yeah, and I could actually, accept that clone in a sense.
Yeah, back in the day, they admitted like we like Minecraft and we wish it was on console. So here's our game. Something along those
However,
lines. And
they
then
have
Minecraft came on a
worked-
console
They have forked this over to PC, which doesn't make sense to me. So I don't know.
because they weren't making any money on console.
I guess.
They tried. I forgot exactly what they did. I remember it being a little bit different. You can go look up Fortress Craft and see. It's
I think they put it on phones too.
Oh, really?
There's tons of like Minecraft clones and things for Minecraft in all the app stores. Like I don't know if you've ever looked, but it's insane. It just I can't scroll past it fast enough. I'm like not interested, not interested.
yeah.
The Skyrim clone game, totally interested in that though. There is like a 3D game Skyrim clone on the app. I haven't had a chance to play it, but I've seen videos and stuff. It looks so
That'd be
cool.
interesting. Yeah, I noticed that a lot of Android titles will clone PC games or whatnot, but
Oh.
they're in smaller version. They're not like, it's not like a full-fledged Skyrim, but it's similar, So
Cloning can be a great thing. I'm dying, and I know you are too, and you kind of
Oh,
found
yeah.
one. I'm dying to
Let's
see an
do
Animal
it.
Crossing clone.
and that's what I'm saying. If we're talking about cross-platform here, we're talking about you got something on one platform but don't have it on another. That's a different kind of a cloning. I kind of agree with that, and especially if the
So-
developer has no reason to make it in any other platform than what the platform is. Then I would accept that kind of cloning.
So you feel like it's ethically okay and morally okay for you to enjoy
don't
a
mean-
clone as long as it's on a separate platform that the original game had
Right.
no
I'm not talking about an
intention of
actual
expanding to.
copy by copy. I mean, this Castaway Paradise that's similar to Animal Crossing is only similar in its gameplay. It's cartoonish too, but it's still a little different. I mean, it doesn't look exactly like Animal Crossing. So it's a different kind of a.
Well, there are friendly animal villagers, and there's tasks to do to improve the village,
Yeah.
things like that. And these guys are getting some. They're getting some headway. Right now, it's on iPad, and they say they have a PC release planned. But what I like about it is that we've talked about it before. Animal Crossing is kind of exclusive to Nintendo, and no one's thought to really clone it because, to be fair, Animal Crossing isn't a very in-depth. It's not very deep compared to Minecraft. There's not as much to do. Eventually, you complete all the goals, and you're like, well, here's another game to collect dust, but
Yeah.
I think it absolutely has that potential to have some more longevity. If
Yeah,
they,
you could make that more open-ended.
Yeah.
And Nintendo knows about this.
Oh, they
and
know about
don't have a
Casper's
problem.
Paradise.
Yes.
Oh,
They
good.
know about it, and they don't have a problem with it.
Because it's different. I mean, they still did enough different to set themselves apart. But yeah, the idea of Animal Crossing, the reason why it's so fun to have like a clone of that is because it's a very relaxing game. And I mean, Jeremy and I know we both have it on the 3DS, and it's fun to visit each other's towns, trade items we don't really have, and then we'll go fishing, and it may be raining in your town, which means different fish are out. And the game has a lot of little aspects and quirks like that. Or maybe you're in a different time zone, it's nighttime for you, so I can go catch different bugs or fish that I can't catch in my town because it's daytime right now.
Or the store.
The store could be different items to buy.
My store's closed. Can I come sell in yours?
Yeah. So
That's good.
that's the kind of game Animal Crossing is, but you don't really have that. I mean, people compare it to The Sims, they compare it to Minecraft, but it's completely different. You just can't.
It is. It's not the same.
It's
You
not the
can't-
same. And you could argue those games are more in depth and you could play them longer, and I don't disagree with that. But it's still a fun game. It has a lot of fun little aspects that other games just fail to implement. So, I'm excited for that kind of the Castaway Paradise game because that's a clone that I can get behind because it's going to be accessible to my PC friends who don't feel like getting 3DSs.
I mean, if you don't log into Minecraft for a couple days, I mean, the only thing that would happen is your crops overgrow and then somebody steals them if they want them, whatever. But I mean, you don't have some character come up to you and say, "Hey, where have you been?" Like.
Oh, the real players will do that.
Yeah, real players. But I mean, it's just that interaction with the other characters in Animal Crossing that's funny.
I'm surprised there's
And the
no
fact-
good Animal Crossing mod for Minecraft.
Yeah, I know, huh? Why couldn't somebody come up with something?
You have a consolidated town that has a fruit in it that you can't get unless there's another town that your friend has.
Would not
Do it.
play.
You wouldn't
You see, I
play?
was hoping.
It would not
you see,
play.
I was
Thumbs
hoping.
down. I'm panning that one.
Well, I was hoping that some of the animals, the breeding in Minecraft, would eventually come up to something like that, where there would be some rare rabbits, or I shouldn't be saying rabbits because we don't got it yet until 1.8 is released, but we will have rabbits. But I mean, things like the cats and stuff, just out of the blue, maybe a rare cat pops out, and you have it and it's hard to get. You know what I'm saying? That would be interesting.
You know what Animal Crossing is? It's basically a rare items game where in order to have go fast and be fun is you collect all the rare items and trade them with your friends. Maybe that's all Minecraft needs to feel more like Animal Crossing. It's just more rare crap.
Kind of like the Steam badge system.
But isn't
Yeah,
that what saddles are?
Saddles are, well, when you have a server and a bunch of people want horses, we ended up selling saddles on our server.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you guys fixed the problem, but on a natural vanilla server, that's the rare item, saddles
Well,
and
those
armor.
you'd have to find, though. I'm talking about things like breeding or growing something.
Just
that's
a collection,
That's
a
different.
thing that you could collect that isn't very accessible unless you visit all the biomes and play at certain times of the day. Stuff like that could be pretty fun. Even if Minecraft implemented a mod that went with real time, you pick a time zone and then the sun and moon would be out during those, just in real time with that time zone. And then certain things that you would collect wouldn't come out until the certain time of the day. Things like that would make it feel give you that feeling that Animal Crossing gives you.
Yeah, like when it's winter, it would snow.
Yeah.
If it's summer, it would be real hot.
Yeah. It's just one of the things that I kind of wish we would see more of, because that's the kind of clone I can get behind. I can get behind an Animal Crossing clone because it really is a one-of-a-kind game. It's not a game that people have really tried to clone.
Right, except for the Pinata game. But even that's not the same because you have a little plot of land and it's basically a farming game in a sense. And the more you farm, the more you grow, the more you attract other creatures onto your land.
That sounds more like Harvest Moon than
It's
Animal
very
Crossing.
similar to Harvest Moon, exactly. But no, nobody's really come up with an Animal Crossing, game.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's what I'm waiting
that
for.
would be one that would be accepted. I didn't know this. I found out that Watch Dogs is considered in many's eyes as a Grand Theft Auto clone, which I kind of thought it's very similar to Grand Theft Auto. I just didn't know that they actually, in the Wikipedia, it's known as a Grand Theft Auto clone, which is kind of interesting.
Oh, it's the official label now. It's on Wiki.
Yeah, it's a Grand Theft Auto clone. Even though, and then this is another thing. This is one that's inspired by Grand Theft Auto, and they've added their own touch to it, with the hacking and stuff. So
There's
I
a
would
lot
consider
of
that
Grand Theft
an
Auto clones
inspirational
too, though.
clone. Yeah, but that would be considered an inspirational clone. But we got.
I think that's the thing. Like, you'd have to categorize all these different games and decide what type of clone they are. Are they a good clone or a bad clone? Did they inspire a whole genre? Did they, or was it just a blatant ripoff? I mean, one we saw in the news earlier this year, the whole Candy Crush thing.
That was a.
That's a blatant ripoff.
Those guys blatantly rip off like everything they get their hands on. And if you go back and read the news, you'll find that they're trying to sue people who they copied.
Yep, which is insane.
Yeah, that's just the ugly side of it.
They're trying to get them out of the marketplace so they don't
clutter it up. They don't think that the people.
They don't want the clones in there of the clone they made because they want all the profits, and then they don't want to get in trouble for being a clone.
Yeah, and they don't think that the actual developer is going to go into all the detail or depth to actually have it legally registered and copyrighted and all that stuff. So they're hoping that their dates are going to be before the dates of the original developers of it. Probably, I don't know.
Their copyright.
Because I don't think that would in court. I mean, come on, how would that go? I mean, they've created it like a year before, say, King.com created their game. I would think that the court would automatically lean towards the one who created it first, right?
No,
hope,
it's usually whoever has the most money or the first patent date. Or copyright date or trademark, whatever you're going by.
Here's an example. In 1979, everybody remembers asteroids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You had the thing where you were a ship in the middle and you can fly around and you shoot at all these asteroids that would break up into smaller asteroids, and you have to shoot those. Sometimes a spaceship would fly by. But it was like how do you explain it? It's an Atari game, and how do you explain it? I guess it's just drawn like it's just an outline of an asteroid. It's not actually an asteroid. It's just like
imagine a black screen, and the only thing that stands out are the white lines.
White lines that are made in the shapes of a ship, which is a triangle.
Yeah,
and then the asteroids.
Circles.
Well,
circles of a toddler.
Yeah, this is interesting because in 1980 that was in 1982. Right after Asteroids came out, another guy came up with a game called Meteors.
Okay.
And Atari and here's the thing: Atari immediately went after them in 1982 and tried to sue them, and the Meteors company won. And they were one of the first ones to win over a big time, because this is like a Meteors was made by a small time indie dev, right? And so Atari lost. But here's the weird thing about it. Okay, I don't even know why Atari even went after them, because Meteors is a game that's very similar to Asteroids. Same thing. You shoot at the meteors and they break up into smaller meteors. The only difference is these look like meteors. They're colored. They look like big rocks, almost three-dimensional in a sense, but very pixelated. And then the ship actually looks like a ship. So it's like that. I think that's how they won. But this is a prime example of inspiration as opposed to actual cloning, because they were obviously inspired by Asteroids. If they were actually cloning it, they would make it look exactly like the game.
No, you're right. That's actually funny that you bring that up, like Atari, any kind of Atari clone, really. But it's cool that they won that. It's crazy to me how many Galaga clones I've seen.
Oh yeah,
Galaga is a really old Atari game. Same kind of concept where you're a ship, but you're stuck at the bottom of the screen, and the little aliens are coming down at you, and you shoot them all. And there's been several clones of that. A lot of those arcade games got clones of them. Yeah.
Space Invaders.
Space Invaders. It's funny because this cloning issue has been around since basically the dawn of gaming.
Exactly.
Before that, really.
Well, yeah, but I'm just
Everybody's
gaining
like,
clones.
I can make that better, or I want a piece of that pie. I'm
But
gonna
see,
jump on that boat.
Cloning was important in gaming history.
Yeah.
It was something that was necessary. Now, cloning exact copies of a game, now that's different. But I'm talking about a lot of people mix up, like, again, cloning to inspiration, where cloning is, you're copying a game exactly the way the game is, with very limited changes. And then you're actually making a game based on the inspiration of another game. Galaga, right?
Galaga?
It was inspired. Galaga
Did you just
was
say
inspired.
Galaga?
I don't know, Galaga.
Ugh.
One of those. Anyway, I don't know how you say it. Galaxia. I don't know. Anyway,
Glug, glug.
Galaga?
what was that? What was the original game that may have been inspired by?
I don't know. I wasn't around in that.
He's
those
too young for
damn
that.
days.
It was very similar to Space Invaders, except for the fact that these things.
I don't know what order
they
these
fly
things
around.
came out in. That's the problem.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, all I'm trying to say is that it's not really necessarily a clone of Space Invaders. It's more of an inspiration of. So it's like.
Yeah, cloning could be a fantastic thing for games. I mean, another example is when Flappy Bird on the App Store went out. Like, the guy pulled it, and then all people were like, "But I want Flappy Bird. I want games like that." So people made a bajillion clones. I almost said a debillion. What's a debillion?
What was
I've
that?
seen so many themes for a Flappy Bird game, from everything under the sun to flying poop to birds. To
I saw
fish.
one today that's even more challenging looking than Flappy Bird. It's on IGN right now. I'll probably link it in the show notes here, but it's like this copter game where you go up instead of sideways, and you tap to make the helicopter go, and then you have to not only tap to make the helicopter go, but move the helicopter between these swinging hammers on poles.
See, that's inspiration.
Swing copters.
Yeah.
Flappy Bird,
But
in a
it's
different way.
Flappy Bird. Looks exactly like Flappy Bird. Otherwise, it looks like the bird's wearing a little propeller hat, and the graphics are the same. But it's different enough to be even more challenging and more interesting.
Yeah,
than Flappy Bird.
That's cool. I love stuff like that.
It's weird that I can get behind that, but Creativerse makes me angry to no end.
Because that's a different game that's built on the concept of Flappy Bird, where it is Creativerse is essentially piano tiles, but what is it? Don't step on the white tiles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can go on for years about clones that have been done to phone games too. It's crazy.
Oh my
yeah,
god,
it's crazy.
it drives me crazy with all the phone games, because it's like, oh, somebody will be like, oh, you have to try out this phone game. You have to try out this phone game. Just search for whatever, and you'll get like 10 billion clones. And I'm like, I want the real version of this game. I don't want a virus. Which one's the right one?
I know.
Who made it?
Yeah.
The thing with phone games, though, is I noticed there's a hidden agenda to some of those games.
Usually it's viruses or stealing information or something along those lines.
Well, no, I mean, like, the hidden agenda, as far as like the reason why it's free is because that you can't move any further unless you buy this or you pay this, or
That too.
it's always those kind of things. And there's not a whole lot of games where you just buy outright to play on a mobile device. But
Well, some games you can, but it is not the going method for selling games.
yeah, well, Castaway Paradise is actually, when you play it on the iPad, it's got those microtransactions in it. But in Steam, people are going nuts. They say, we'll never buy this game if you make it microtransaction for PC.
Oh.
And
Wait,
so
are you
they
talking about
actually say,
Creativerse now, or
no, Castaway Paradise. And they're saying, from the developer, he actually put in, he says, we're not going to make it microtransaction for PC.
okay.
So-
See, that's cool. Like, I mean, I don't want to get into a whole discussion about microtransactions, but I do want to say real quick, another reason I was bugged by Creativerse is that they have microtransactions in the
Oh,
game.
yeah, that's right. They do.
While they're in the development phase, they said this game is going to be free. However, while we're developing, you can pay us $20 to play it early, and then there are microtransactions on top of that $20.
That doesn't make sense, yeah.
Why do they not give you free access to all the stuff they're adding, and then just put up a little pop-up that when this game is an official release, this will be a microtransaction, and your account will be reset and when the official release, so you won't have access to any of this stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Why don't they just do that? Since you had to pay to get in anyway.
That'd be infinitely better. Because you're paying in effort to support them, which is noble. But to also throw microtransactions on top of that.
That's just gouging.
It is gouging. It's noble for the buyer, though. It's noble for the buyer to say, I don't care. I want to support these guys. I'm interested in this game. That's great. But to throw microtransactions in their face after that and then say, don't worry, though, the game's going to be free and that $20 you spend is gone forever.
I know, yeah.
If you have microtransactions in your game is no longer in alpha, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You're not even in beta. You are in full release.
Go on.
Because you are charging for your product, which means it should be finished.
Minecraft charged, though, but not microtransactions, and they just raised the price as the game got better.
But yeah, that was right up front, the one-time fee to get in.
And what was cool
they're charging a fee
people...
and then microtransactions, which means to me that says finished game.
Yeah.
Or
there are plenty of people out there who have paid $5 for Minecraft because back in the day, that's all they felt it was worth.
There was an April Fool's joke that Notch put in Minecraft one time. It was something crate, and when you clicked on it, it opened up a store page.
Oh.
And you're able to buy certain items from the store.
Oh.
He did it as an April Fool's joke. That was hilarious. That was definitely a
some people
a
raged.
poke at microtransactions.
Notch loves trolling. Microtransactions in games, we could go on a whole nother podcast about that, honestly.
Yeah, I know.
We could make that next week's topic if we wanted to.
No.
No. But seriously, it's crazy to me that, not only are you a clone of a game, a very obvious clone, but now you're going to try to gouge people for the full price of, well, Minecraft's a little more than, it's like $25 now, right?
Well, think about it. If you have a game like, say, even Minecraft. Well, I'm using Minecraft as an example, but you got a game that you pay for up front, right? You pay for it, everything's free, whatever, la la la. Well, they're going to offer you a game that's free, and you can play it. It doesn't matter. You can play it any way you want it. It's free. However, they're going to have the additional microtransactions to help you along. See, so I see their strategy there. They're hoping that they're going to gain a lot of people that want to play Minecraft that can't because they can't afford it to play the free game, and hopefully, possibly get people to buy those microtransactions later.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. It's a whole nother discussion, but for a clone to have the audacity, that's just me. Such an obvious, blatant ripoff too. But yeah, what was
Tell us how you really feel.
I get so mad. I can't even talk about it. I was gonna say though, King and Candy Crush. What's sad about that is, Candy Crush is like so many other games. You almost can't call it a clone because I don't even know where the original concept of this came from. Maybe
right, there was even one before. Yeah, there was even one before this guy.
You match the pieces and they all break and you get points. Right. These are all green and you put them together, bam, points. Simple game. I don't care if I don't even consider that a clone. To me, that's a genre. It's a puzzle game, whatever. But the fact that it is basically the most popular, and some people out there believe in their heart of hearts that Candy Crush, Bejeweled copied Candy Crush because they saw Bejeweled second.
Whoa. Who thought Bejeweled came second?
I have
because we need to call their ass out.
I've seen a couple of dumb Facebook friends of mine, but point is, like, it's sad that you see people arguing about that. Like, no, Candy Crush wasn't first. Just because you saw it first doesn't make it the first thing. And that's how big Candy Crush is.
But it is obvious that King.com did copy pretty much exactly what the original game, which was called, Candy Swipe. It's obvious. I mean, if you look at some of the similarities to the game, it's almost exact.
So what's
There's
the
no
other game
difference
that
in the
they
games.
got in trouble for?
Recently in January.
They had to pull.
Yeah, recently in January there was a game called Scamper Ghost, and they created a game called Pack-A-Void.
No, which is the
And-
copy, which is the original.
Pack-A-Void is the copy of Scamper Ghost.
Okay.
And if you look at the title screens, you look at the actual game itself, it's the exact copy. I mean, almost exact copy, with the exception of, obviously a little bit of artwork change. But pretty much even the buttons and stuff that you click on to start the game, it's got the play, scores, credits, and more games. And the same thing with Pack-A-Void. Play, scores, credits, more games. You know what I mean? It's the same exact setup. And
Shame on the innovation team at King, because obviously all they do is troll
Innovation
the market.
team.
All they do is scroll through the marketplace and find a game that is really unpopular near the bottom that's actually decent and just make their own
I like the idea of the,
exact copy of it.
it's
like
just
the
the lack
idea.
of promotion for some of these games.
It's the innovation team.
Yeah, I like the idea of the King offices, cubicles everywhere, and different doors going to different areas of the office, and one of them above it says Innovation Team.
That's what we need to do. Make a three-dimensional game, first-person shooter that's called King.com. And it'd be the offices of King. And you go into all the different ones and clone different games. That'd be fun.
Oh,
And it'd be more
Anyway.
popular than anything they could possibly muster up.
Yeah.
probably.
They'd probably sue me for copying something.
They're
No,
very,
it wouldn't be copyright. It would be
they're lawsuit happy over there.
slander and things
Yeah.
of that nature.
They'll do anything, because I bet they've had so many lawsuits against them now just because people are trying to fight back.
But it's so funny because
they're
King.com
bloodthirsty.
swears they don't copy games. They say, we do not copy anybody's
That's the
games.
worst
but yet
part.
It's like,
Just
what?
admit it, and people will instantly respect you more.
It might
Yeah.
not be the company though. It may be somebody who's in the art department or like on the innovation team who just kind of. I know it makes you laugh and giggle, but
Stop
like
calling it
that.
that.
It's. I know it's not, but it could be just one guy who like everybody likes and thinks has really great ideas, and then when they're pushing the product out, then they're like, "Wait, this is an exact copy." They've already invested all that money, and they'll be like, just push it out there and we'll fight it when it comes. I like to think that the whole company as a whole is not evil dicks just out to copy people, but there's just a small group of people on the project planning team that are thieves.
It's sad that they've grown into that big of a business, because it's not that they copy games, it's that they're not upfront about it, and they try to spin it like, they did it. Bejeweled, we thought of that way before
But they
them.
copied the art graphics and everything.
Oh yeah, that one story that stuck out a
It's
lot.
shameless.
Yeah, they shamelessly
Yeah,
copied
that's
another
great.
candy game, very, very, very shamelessly, and then tried to sue that guy. And this guy released an open letter to them, and it got them so much bad press, which was exciting, very exciting, because finally this guy exposed them. He showed the dates of when his game was published and all this other legitimate legal mumbo jumbo, and it put them to shame. And a lot of people now finally have realized that they're not to be respected. Although I don't think a lot of people even play Do a lot of people even play Candy Crush still? It seems to have kind of fallen to the wayside among my social
People
group.
are kind of on Farm Saga right now until the next big thing. I think we're in the lull until the next big Farmville, Candy Crush, or whatever have you.
Farm Saga.
Yeah,
Is that by
Farm
them?
Saga. Yes,
That's what I
it
figured.
is a Candy Crush clone with a farming theme.
That's them not only like copying themselves, but trying to take publicity from Farmville.
Yeah,
How stupid is that?
Here's what
I
King
think
says.
honestly it's genius.
Here's what King says. He says, King does not clone other people's games. King believes that IP, both our own IP and that of
Intellectual
others, is
property.
important. Intellectual property, for those who don't know, is important and should be properly protected.
Yeah, a
That
little
is
blanket
A
statement for you.
nice.
I think through this whole thing, though, I skimmed through this article here. I saw something that kind of caught my eye. I guess, from what I understand, that Scamper Ghost was found out to be an actual clone of another game. It was a Flash game that somebody had made, and Scamper Ghost was made based off that Flash game. So because of that, they might not win in a lawsuit on this. So who knows?
Well, it depends on if the Flash game ever like put any patents out or copyrights.
They
Or
probably
any
won't. I think it was like a kid from high school that made the
Yeah,
game
I
or
was gonna
something.
say if it was
You know
like
what I
his
mean?
high school programming project, it'd be like, or just for funsies,
Yeah.
it
So he
won't
doesn't
matter.
care.
It's like it never existed, honestly, in the court system.
Yeah.
A lot of
But
it.
because it was done, see, that makes Scamper Ghost look like, oh, well, you cloned off of somebody else. So what difference does that make? You know? So who knows?
Well, if they have legal paperwork, then they will win, as long as they have enough money to actually run it through the court system. That's the way our courts work right now. Our copyright
the way it
and
is.
patents and trademark system really needs a revamping for the modern era.
Yeah.
Because pretty much it just protects the people with the money, not the people who with original ideas.
Yep.
It's a shame, but
Okay, now, I just wanted to say this real quick
Yeah.
about the whole idea of cloning here. This is a great example. It's a new game that just came out. It's called 5 Days of Freddy. Freddy's 5 Days. I forgot what it's called. It's a horror game, and that's the genre, horror. And people have had different kinds of horror games. You got the
Slender Man.
Slender Man. You got all those different kinds of games, and they're pretty close to the same. There's just little differences here and there, other graphics or whatever. They put a different spin on it. You're in a room, and you're in this, and you are security, basically a security guard or a night watchman, and these 3 or 4 animatronic things, because it's a pizza place, right? Kind of like Chuck E. Cheese.
Wait,
And these
wait,
animatronics,
Yeah.
they come to life
wait,
at night.
wait. No,
You have to
I
keep
have
an
to
eye
stop
on them.
right
Stop.
here. What pizza place needs a security guard?
I know. Well, that's just it.
Are they putting
This is really
diamonds
cool.
instead of pepperoni?
These things will kill you, because something about, they humans shouldn't be out at night or some bull crap. Anyway, they got a little storyline behind the whole thing. But you're just sitting there, and all you're doing is you're turning on the light on the left and the light on the right, and you have to, when you see one of these animatronics coming at you through the cameras, when they're coming close to you, you got to close the door. But as you close the door and you turn the lights on and off and you use the camera, you use energy, and your battery or the power goes down. And if the power completely goes out, both doors open up, and these animatronics can come at you and kill you. It's just a crazy horror game, and this is what I call, like I said, it's all about inspiration, and somebody was inspired by the horror genre and made this incredible game out of it.
Call that horror.
You don't even move. It's just
Sensible.
images. That's what's so neat about it. Is it's just images. You don't even move. You just stay in one place through the whole game, and you got 5 days. You have to live through 5 days without getting killed by these creatures. These robotic. You got a rabbit, you got a bear, and you got it's a pizza place for kids.
And they play music.
Yeah. So it's cool. You got to check out a video
it's
on it. It's really cool.
Chuck E. Cheese with a security guard.
Yeah. With a night watchman, I guess you can call him.
I just don't understand why they need to hire a night watchman. I mean, unless they knew they were haunted to begin with and still decided to pursue a business in children's entertainment.
Well, that's just it. You when you get in the game, you get a phone call, and the phone call is the owner of the place, and he's saying, "Well, I know you're probably wondering why and he explains all these different things, the reasons why all this is taking place. So you just have to play the game to find out. But yeah, it's an interesting game. But it's one of those, if you want to call it a clone, it's one of those inspirations from the horror genre that we got this. And see, these are the kind of things that are acceptable, I think.
Yeah, I
Is
agree.
these kind of games.
Yeah, inspiration versus cloning. It's kind of what this has come down to.
Yeah.
So before it gets too late in the show, I do want to bring up. Obviously, I guess we've pretty much covered everything we want to talk about gaming cloning, right? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, we've covered the spectrum. The big story that came out, what was it? Even today, I think, maybe yesterday.
Oh yeah.
There's two big stories really from this past weekend.
Yeah, the one that I think we talked about already, and we even at the time thought it was confirmed, but I guess not, was the Twitch acquisition, because we knew Twitch was getting bought. And we thought it was by YouTube. Everyone thought it was by YouTube. And then today it was announced that Amazon is actually the one buying Twitch.
I was actually excited to hear that.
Yeah,
I
which
was
is like,
very excited to hear
it was
this.
like, what?
That was a pleasant surprise, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to double up on my Amazon Associates account.
It was a shocker. It's almost as if they let some weird information leak that Google was going to buy them out.
Oh, they
then
might
come to
have
find out it was
that
Amazon.
themselves.
Yeah, just to throw everybody off.
No,
But yeah, that's pretty cool.
the headlines are saying that Twitch isn't going to change and Amazon's buying them.
And
But
see, that's
like,
it.
it's weird because Amazon sometimes buys things, and you're like, why? That is so far from what you do. But typically, they do not change things.
No, they
too
don't usually get
much.
involved. Yeah. They don't usually
When they
get
buy
involved.
things.
I'm happy about it. YouTube really
They're just
has
the corporate owners.
YouTube has a crazy vision for what they think people want to see, and whether you agree with it or not, the fact is they're very strong in their belief, and I truly believe that Twitch might eventually have some problems because YouTube has
It would've hurt.
this way of doing things, and now Twitch was still their own company, so YouTube may not have affected them too much, but maybe in the future when there was some turnover there, you would start seeing Twitch making the same kind of changes that YouTube has made. But now,
Here's the change on Twitch you're going to see. Those people who have the third-party, like, buy the game here accounts or whatever linked to their thing, well, that will probably have to go. But you will be able to have an Amazon Associates account, like, directly linking to Twitch, and they will probably be like the game you're watching, buy it on Amazon now.
yeah.
That
Oh,
will
it
be
has something
added,
like
and
that.
it'll be very discreet.
Yeah.
But that will be for, like, probably at least 6 months.
But maybe there will be money in it for the streamers,
Well,
for
if you have an associate
advertising. or
account,
whatever.
yeah, and you link everything in like your chat box and stuff with the right links and the product links, yeah, you can get money.
They're the pros.
Well, you know how you can.
Amazon, they're professional. They know exactly what they're doing with their website. They know how to get people jumping around, and
Oh, they know how to get people to buy products.
they're good. YouTube, on the
Yeah.
other hand, doesn't know how to get people to watch videos to save their lives, and they think they do. But again, my opinion.
They know how to get you to click on the wrong video, but
Yeah.
they can't retain you on that video.
Absolutely. It's funny that people get caught in that wormhole of YouTube and start going into like content that they shouldn't be watching because it was nowhere near where they started. And that's like this thing that happens in YouTube. And then
YouTube safaris used to be really great, and now they're just like, I just want something close to what I searched for.
Yeah, it's going way out of bounds now. Yes, I agree. Yeah, I've had issues like that where I've gone places like, how does this have anything to even do with what I was watching?
I just
It's not
wanted
even
a cute
close.
kid photo. Like,
I liked it.
real, but
I liked it for a while, but now it's getting real bad. It's
yeah,
getting real bad. It's
stuff
like,
that's nothing close to what I searched for, and it just drives me crazy.
So the other big story, because we are getting ready to wrap up the show here, and I want to fit this in. The other big story that it's resolved now, but if you're someone who's involved in PlayStation, this has probably affected you. PlayStation is actually DDoSed, and their networks completely got strangled to death.
see, this happened once
All
before
weekend.
with them. Remember? And they were down for like a week or so.
That was
Yeah, well, they
had a
weren't
big
down
one.
so long this time.
They had one that kept them down for
They-
what was it, like almost, it felt like months or something? It was a
Oh yeah,
crazy
maybe
amount
it
of
was
time.
months, and they had to redo their whole system.
But that
Because
was
they stole
information
credit
stolen.
card
Yeah.
information.
oh, yeah, it
Like,
was
this is
information
just
stolen.
DDoSed into, like, they pretty much tore down the servers.
That's crazy.
Supposedly, the reason was because Sony's servers are not as secure as they should be. And, like
Obviously.
Microsoft's.
You have Minecraft
And they need to
server
fix it.
Minecraft server hosts offer DDoS protection as just a thing that they have to do
But
to
you
run
can't-
Minecraft servers.
you can't really protect
You can't really
against
protect
it.
it, but they have defenses against it. And then someone decides, I wonder if I can do this.
But
to
it's
Sony.
not about the DDoSing, it's about privacy and security. That's why they DDoSed. To raise awareness
Oh,
I'm wondering when we're going to
shut
come
up.
out
about personal
with
security.
console
Is that what the hacker
viruses.
said?
Sony. Yes.
God. I heard that the hackers like stood up and said, "We did it, huh?"
Oh, no. There was a hacker group that claimed it, and apparently now all of their IP addresses have been posted by the real hacker.
Oh my god, it's so stupid. Can we
Yes!
just stop? Can we just stop with the DDoSing?
Yeah, I mean, what?
I'm not naming
DDoS
names on purpose.
DDoS.gov sites, not us. No, I was kidding.
Dude, ones that deserve it. Come on. People will be live streaming.
This. They're actually on this. And I think the group that claimed it have DDoS Twitch. They do DDoS Twitch streamers though.
It's not even like hackers. That's the funny part. It's people that get access to these websites that just give you access to other computers and crap. It works with Trojan horse viruses and stuff like that. But you pay money to these sites, and then you can use them to see a Twitch streamer and DDoS their internet, stuff like that. And they call themselves hackers, and it's pathetic and it's sad. It's just ridiculous to me that this is something we've been dealing with now for a while, and no one knows how to stop it, and we just get mad. And now what I'm hoping this leads to is, now that someone big had it happen to them, we can finally start somehow defending against it. I don't know how, but somehow.
No, it's not going to happen because the way the DDoS works and stuff, you would have to pretty much tear down all of the internet and rebuild how it works.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Well,
you don't understand.
The only thing we can do is make an example.
Divert that fake traffic. It's about identifying the fake traffic and trying to divert it or just stop it before it hits your servers. But you can only do
from
so
different IP addresses too, which just makes it, you can't like block a specific IP address. They're coming from different ones.
You can trace it to the source, and it's been done.
Yeah.
You need to make an example of them after it's been traced, though. I know it's been done. And
like
the
the
people
death
don't
penalty or something. No, I was kidding.
The death penalty. We just need someone to get, and hopefully this leads to someone being made an example of, because, anyone can go out and just kill people, but the reason we don't is because it's immoral, but it's also illegal, and people who have done it before, they were made an example of, a society involved, etc., etc.
Right.
I'm not saying the DDoSing is bad as killing someone, but the point is, you need to make an example of these cases, otherwise it's just going to keep happening.
Yeah, there's real shifty when it comes to internet. There's not a whole lot of laws out there that are strict enough against
DDoS
stuff like
is
this.
against law.
No, yeah, absolutely.
It's a federal offense.
You can get in a lot of trouble. But it hasn't happened. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So, not enough people.
I believe there is, but a lot of times
it hasn't been public enough. We need to, you know what I mean?
I agree with
that.
that.
The fact that I'm saying it hasn't happened because I can't think of any cases, that's the problem.
There
I'm going to be able to pull up a case in my head and go, oh, that guy.
DDoSed.
There is some cases, though, of people who with viruses who release mass viruses and worms on the internet have been arrested in public cases, but most people just don't pay it any mind.
See,
it's like the story's over at the end of the weekend. You see some white nerd kid getting arrested, and then it's over.
Anyway, this is getting into a whole nother
stuck
territory.
In a dungeon somewhere.
Yeah.
No,
it's news. Wanted to bring it up, but
Cheeto dust on his face.
Please let that be true. I just wanted to bring that up. Anyway, we're about to wrap up the show here. We didn't get a chance to discuss what we're going to talk about next week. We have a theme every week, and we tell you guys about it, so you can join in the discussion throughout the week on Twitter and our website under the Contact Us page. I really want a chance to talk about, for me personally, all the things that have been taken out of The Sims 4. I don't know if we can make that a theme of a whole show, but...
Do you want to talk about the evolution of The Sims?
We can talk about the evolution of The Sims. Make it
that's
just a whole Sims podcast.
The Simcast?
The Simcast.
Simulators in general. You got the Sim City, yeah, we could.
Yeah.
And just
listening to people. Quote unquote.
There
was an article that came out recently. EA's we're doing the best to listen to people. We haven't done it very well before, but now we are. Exactly. So that's
it.
Theme. If you're listening right now and you're what are they going to talk about next week? It's probably going to involve The Sims 4 and EA. So there you go. Join in the discussion via at Everything Noob on Twitter, or visit everythingnoob.com and hit contact us. And that's it. That's all we got for you. We got to go. But
there
thank
you
you
go.
for listening. Thanks for watching. on twitch.tv/enoobs. Check out everythingnoob.com for all your links to the show notes and things like that. So, that's it.
All right.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Thanks for listening to the Everything Noob podcast. Be sure to visit everythingnoob.com for previous episodes, show notes, host bios, and blogs. And while you're there, feel free to write us with any questions, comments, or suggestions you may have. Don't forget to check out the links to our Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch TV channel as well. On behalf of the noobs, see you next week, and happy gaming.